Hello, everyone. My name is Armando Perez-Carreno, and today I want to share something that just happened with a client of ours. They were trying to do something on one of the biggest email marketing providers, and it wasn't going as expected. So, when I looked at it and told them how to go about fixing it, I thought it would be very interesting to share why that happens. And if you ever found yourself in that situation, you might find this helpful. And it's something that still amazes me that it happens. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to share what I use instead and why it might be a better solution for especially situations like these. So let's go right into the story itself. And if you are listening to this, we're streaming to multiple sources, and I'm using the new tool here. So let me know in the comments wherever you are so that I can know where you're seeing us from. If you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube or X or Instagram, just let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer there as well. So, what happened? We were working this morning and I got an email from one of our customers that they created a segment on MailChimp. As you must know about MailChimp, MailChimp is one of the biggest email marketing tools, now automation as well, out there. There's MailChimp, there's Constant Contact, one of the older ones, there's Drip, Active Campaign, HubSpot. There are a ton, and they're all good. You can basically do broadcasts and basic automations in all of them, and then some of them are more specific to more advanced automations, like Active Campaign or Drip, perhaps, and many of the others. And so MailChimp added some journeys to their system, which allows you to create more advanced automations, which is really nice, especially if you were just using it for broadcasts originally, and then now all of a sudden you want to use automations, you can. It's just part of the system. And you can integrate with some other tools, in this case, like WooCommerce, for example. There is a plugin that they have, and you can bring in the data, which, of course, you can aggregate that data further. If you use a tool like WP Fusion, you can bring more information that maybe the MailChimp plugin on its own does not. But that's not the purpose of this conversation. The purpose of the conversation is to talk about what happened to this particular customer. And I'm getting a message here from Oscar. Hello, Oscar. Hola, ¿cómo estás? It's in Spanish. From Spain. How are you? So, what happened today? Well, they have a large customer base of members, and these members very proudly subscribe to their website and enjoy. There's a big community. They really enjoy it, and they're very active in this community. And the website gives them access to training courses, basically training videos. And so what happened was renewals came in for this new year, and there was a nice email that they're sending to new members, and some of the old members didn't get it, so they were complaining, hey, I want to receive it as well. So the team was trying to create an email broadcast to send it to those recurring members that might not be triggered in that original journey or automation. And so, okay, simple enough. So I told them the steps, and I said, well, you can just go in and filter by are they a member, and is their membership original start date before 2025? And if so, then that's good enough. Okay, so it turned out it was, I'll just give an example of size. So let's say it was a 2400 size segment, right, of active members, which is great. That's ready. They're about to send the email. And when they go in to actually send the email, prepare the broadcast, now it says it's only 500 or 540. So what happened? And so I look at it and I notice immediately what the problem is. The problem is that the tool, MailChimp, only allows to send marketing emails to people who are actively subscribed. And so the problem with this approach is that if you were bringing people from your commerce store, like WooCommerce or Shopify, they might have not checked the little box at checkout that says, I want to opt in to receive marketing. And so if you're following rules and doing GDPR and all that good stuff, then you have that checkbox and it's not checked by default. And so people, if they don't check it, they don't get that opt-in. So what happens? Well, technically, you can still send them transactional emails, which the system does. But if you want to send this transactional email from MailChimp, you can't. Even if you know it's going to be a transactional email, like this welcome email for something they just purchased. So this qualifies as a transactional email, at least from my understanding, because it's literally a message completely related to a purchase they just made. But you're just sending it as a broadcast in this situation because they didn't receive it. And so now you're segmenting, it's personalized, and it's going to have the information specific to their actual subscription. It can even have subscription date and next renewal and all that good stuff. But you just can't, right? Because they are not actively subscribed. And so it's problematic, right? And I'm just thinking, well, on Groundhog, which is what I use, it's really simple. You could do this kind of thing, no problem. And that's what I wanted to show you right here. If you don't know about Groundhog, if you use WordPress at all, Groundhog is a great tool because you install it on your site and you have all your context there. You can have all your automations right there, your funnels and broadcasts and everything. But you can decide which emails are marketing and which emails are transactional. And some other tools do this as well. I just like the fact that Groundhog just lives within the site itself. And so let me show you where exactly the difference is. And so if you've never seen Groundhog, I mean, by all means, try it. It's great. So let me share my screen here for a sec. And we can see in this screen, we're looking at the email screen. So I can create any email I want. I'm just going to do add new here. And when I do that, it'll give me the option of selecting from a template, for example. So right here, we've got all the templates. Yeah, of course, typical templates that you can get in an email system, or you can create your own. So here I have a clean one. I like it to be clean for emails. And so here we are, and I have this placeholder content, which I can edit, and just the same as any other tool. Don't focus on that. But here's the important thing. When we go to the actual email itself, when we're setting it up, we can tell it if the email itself is marketing or transactional. Why? Because the message type says transactional emails bypass contact marketability. And that's important because you might have a situation like this one where you find yourself needing to send out a broadcast or maybe via a funnel or anything like that, a message that is transactional in nature and that the person does not specifically opt in, but they still have to receive this information because it could be a renewal reminder or anything of that sort. And you just can't do it in many of these other tools because they sort of protect the reputation of the account by not allowing you to do this. Obviously, because some people do wrong things. But in this case, you're doing proper things the proper way. I believe you should have control of your list and who subscribes, who unsubscribes, what it means. If you're doing things properly in the legal way, then you should have the possibility of adjusting it. And so that's one of the reasons I really like Groundhog, because it allows me to do something like that, where I can say this email is going to be marketing or transactional, and then I can send it as a broadcast. And if it's sent as a broadcast, it'll be transactional in nature and it will bypass those rules. Or if it's marketing, wherever it's used in the system, either in a broadcast or within a funnel, it'll follow those rules based on that specific email. So it doesn't matter where you are. Like even if you are in a funnel itself, let me share this other tab. So if you're on a funnel, let's say like a newsletter confirmation, I don't know. So we're here, if someone gets this tag, then send this email. So it'll send that email, right? But if one of the emails that you have in the funnel is transactional, it'll send it to everyone who are in the funnel. It doesn't matter the rest of the funnel. And if it's marketing, then it'll not send it to people who maybe are not opted in. So it's very useful because you have better control of what the process is and who your users are and what you're doing with them. So great tool. Another thing to know about it is that when you're setting up the rules in your automations and the actions within Groundhog, it, and I'll talk about this in another video. I'm just very excited whenever I see this again, because within Groundhog, you can do things like you can start from somebody submitting a form or booking a call or submitting a Gravity form, but you can also do it based on things like if someone purchased a product on your site, or if they completed a LearnDash course on your site, or if a Zapier hook got triggered from another site, it could do something here with contacts or put contacts in an automation. You can even have your custom functions that allow you to trigger custom website code based on where they are in the funnel step. So it's really, really advanced, very nice if you want it, or you could just keep it very basic. But what I wanted to share today, like I said, is you have that possibility of not only having a, what is it? List that you can send people information to, but a list that you actually control how you send that information. And let me just make sure that we are seeing the same thing here, because it might be that since we're in studio mode, you were like just looking at me. So here we are. This is what I was showing. If it didn't appear on screen, when you're creating an email, you can then change the message type from marketing to transactional, as easy as that. And that's for the actual email. So wherever you show it around the universe of your email automation journey, it'll follow the rules either for transactional or for marketing. So it's really nice. You can use it in broadcasts. You can use it in funnels as well. It's great. And I was also showing the automations themselves. You can have all sorts of triggers, which is very nice. We'll talk about it in another video. I really like this tool. If you haven't used it, or if you're sort of considering using another tool for email marketing, if you don't have one and you were thinking maybe going with something like MailChimp, consider Groundhog. It's a great tool. It's a this is a website, groundhog.io. There's a bunch of information here on why it's great. One of the main reasons is it doesn't scale the cost. So if you have 500 users, it doesn't cost more. If you have 2,000 users, members, contacts, subscribers, it doesn't grow, right? So it's always the same price. Whatever amount of emails you send, that's what you pay for, using whichever email provider you have. So you can use Postmark, you can use Mailhawk, Mailgun, whatever, and you can change them too, right? So there's no lock-in. Like at some point, I want to move somewhere else. Sure, you can just change your email sending provider to Amazon SES or whatever you want. And all your automations, all your contacts, everything stays here. And so it's really nice in that regard regarding pricing. It grows with you, but doesn't give you that sort of growth tax, which is very nice. But that's all I wanted to say. That was a very interesting experience today where I saw that and I was like, no, there has to be a better way. And at least I know with the tool that I use, there is a better way. And I think some of the other like ActiveCampaign might have something like this where you can decide what type of messaging it is. But if you find yourself in a situation like this, just check to see if your tool has support for changing the type of email into transactional, because that might be the limiting factor into why you're not getting the possibility to send out to the rest of those subscribers. Okay, so I hope it helps, and thank you for joining me on this live stream, and I'll see you on the next one. If you're not following us yet, follow the page, and it's mostly Perez-Carreno in all of the platforms, especially on X. That's where I'm most active, and I'll see you in the next one.